All right, Ethan, we're on mission number 2, right? Let's go drop some crab pots. We just left the beach. Out there ways. All right, so we just got to the crabbing grounds. We're right in the middle of our typical GPS points, so it's easy for us to find later on. But we're gonna go ahead and get a pot loaded up, ready to drop. So we have our standard pot. These are just cheap pots we picked up, I think, at Costco. So you've got standard plastic or light metal with rubber coating on it. Then we use leaded lines so it sinks and gets out of the way of propellers. And I think this is about 120 feet or 100 feet or so. And we're typically crabbing between 60 to 70 feet. We just like a lot of extra rope in case the tide's ripping. This way we can always find our buoys, because tide and current will cause that buoy to drift, and if you don't have enough line, it's pretty easy for it to sink and disappear, and you got to come out low tide and try to find that little guy. So that's just our strategy. For bait today, Ethan, we have some clams. I don't know if I'll use those, but we have a nice salmon carcass. After we fillet it, we put the rest of it in bags and freeze them, and it makes excellent crab bait. All right, so let's pull this guy out. Ew, frozen solid, look at that. Might have to break this up to get him in. So we zip tie our bait bags, bait holders, whatever you call these things, to the bottom of the pot so that they're not flopping around in the current. That seems to scare crabs and prawns, whatever you're going for, away a little bit. So we try to keep things as tied down as possible. So Ethan, what do you think? Just salmon in this one?
So.
Okay, let's do that. Oh, I got this other piece here. Let's put this in. We might as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get that guy in there. Not a bad idea to bring gloves out if you don't want your hands smelling fishy. I'll just dip them in the water afterwards, and then we'll use some baby wipes to clean things up a bit. Again, we're looking for sandy bottoms here, 60 to 70 feet. You can go shallower than that. You can probably go a little deeper. We find that's kind of our sweet spot. Oops, makes it easy. You never want to forget to tighten the lid down so the crabs don't get in. And this is how they crawl in here. They kind of smell the bait, they push in, and then this door closes behind them and they get stuck. Sometimes if they get lucky, a crab will come in and it'll let some out, but for the most part, they stay in there, and we leave these for a while. So, Ethan, can you back up a little bit? What's rule number 1 with the rope?
Never step in it.
Never stand in the rope. We don't want to get thrown overboard or caught. And if we do have a problem with the rope as we're deploying it, what do?
Tie it to the cleat.
Tie it to the cleat, which looks like we might have a little bit of a knot here. So let's see. These crab pots are pretty easy. They're fairly light. When we go prawning in the spring, those pots are super heavy, and the current and depth, those are closer to 300 something feet. It gets pretty wild. You have to be pretty careful about the line and having everything ready to go. Crabbing is much more of an amateur's game. It's pretty easy. So that's in. Buoy goes. See you later. We'll let that sink a little bit, clear our prop, and then we'll shoot up maybe 50 yards. All right, pot number 2. We got a little bit left over of this salmon we caught the other night. Stick it in there. And then Ethan gathered a bunch of clams off the beach earlier. These are frozen. Normally we would break these up and try to get some scent out of them, but since they're frozen, that's not gonna be the easiest thing. I'm just gonna throw them in here. We'll see how this pot fishes. So hopefully they're still attracted even though these things aren't broken up and they can't get at them. We'll see. All right, let's throw it off this side, the port side, the left side. So we always try to incorporate a little bit of safety when we're doing this with our kids. We want it to be fun, but safety is number 1. And of course, this was not policed up very well.
Hey Dad, we should do the get the pot puller.
Oh yeah, we didn't even bring a pot puller with us, did we?
Nope.
Okay, so when we go back in, we'll have to bring the pot puller. So we just have 2 downriggers mounted on this boat, 1 on each side. Normally when we're pulling pots, we're dropping pots, we'll have a pot puller. These what is going on? These crab pots can be easily pulled up by hand. So I'm gonna sort this out. What we're gonna do is tie this around a cleat so that it takes the tension off my hands and I can work this problem. Now this is the main reason we take time when we're packing things up, is so this doesn't happen. So lesson learned. So now we can throw the rest of this line down. We just kind of, woo, buoy's in. So we always try to make our buoys look distinct. We got some stars and of course our name and address and phone number on it, so we can tell them apart. Sometimes you can get a lot of pots out. All right, pots are in the water. We're gonna spin this boat around, head out to the west, and go do some salmon fishing. So let's get her up on step. Now run over our own pots. We're good. Clear. It's a beautiful sound, buddy, ain't it? How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
10 and a half.
10 and a half. I love it. All right. We're doing 33 knots, so we're gonna back off, but man, today is classic. Look at that. Woo! So we got a single salmon pole in the water here, trolling behind. I might need to bring up the speed a little bit. We're at, looks like 292 foot of depth. And I don't know if you can see that there on the screen, but we're doing 1.5 miles per hour, a bunch of boats out here. A tug pointed at the rocks, running. Not sure what that is, what's going on there. Anybody knows why this tugboat is pressed up against the rocks here, running his motor, please let us know. I don't think it really gets any better than this. We're out, we're fishing with all our friends that we don't know, but about 12 boats out here right now. But we got something online. Hold this, buddy, hold it. All right, Ethan, can you steer us? Very nice. Ethan, steer us to the right a little.
Is it still on?
I don't know yet. I don't think so. Steer us to the left a little, Ethan.
Or is it just seaweed?
Nothing on here.
Then it must have came off.
All right, we still haven't caught anything, but we're trying, right, pal? We got both lines in. Doing about just under 2 knots on the troll here, so it's kind of this constant battle of dealing with the music that's on, keeping the boat straight and kind of matching the coastline and sort of the depth contour we're searching for, and battling the waves and the current and wakes that boats are putting out. So tons of fun, but a little challenging if you don't have a dedicated driver or a rear helm. We don't, but I might fix that next week, so stand by. Well, we've been trolling for a while, no bites, huh? Rod's popped a couple times, this one in particular. It's on a braided line, which doesn't seem to stay in the clip, the downrigger clip, quite as much, so that's probably the reason it's popping. You know, it's just kind of slipping out with friction. We gotta run up here and repoint the boat. But look at that view. Not too bad if you're not catching fish, but it would be way cooler if we caught a few. Maybe later. What did you just catch?
A cute salmon!
Holy cow! Watch out, I can get the hook out. Okay, watch out, hold on. What you can do? I'm gonna turn the boat a bit. Try to stay out of here. All right, can you get him up?
Billy.
There you go. There you go, you got it, you got it, you got it, you got it. Lift, 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 lift. That's a king salmon, baby. How excited are you?
Hugely.
What did you just catch?
A gigantic king.
Oh guys, just caught a giant king salmon a little bit ago. We've got it in the fish box. It is bled. It's well over the minimum 22-inch size. I'd say it's closer to 27, 28 inches. So it's a keeper for us. We are just gonna keep trolling a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys what this fish box looks like right now. It's pretty wild. It was pretty exciting. Couldn't film it. I don't have a chest mount or a head mount yet to film the fight, but that fish kept taking drag from us. Ethan was my net guy, and since he's not as tall, he wasn't able to get over the gunnel that easy and get that fish. So we switched places. He took the rod, and I grabbed the fish, and All right, I grabbed the net and I was able to bring him in the boat with Ethan's help, but we've got that fish in there. I mean, it's pretty bloody, it's a mess, but making sure we get all the blood out so that meat is as fresh and tasty as possible when we get back home. We're gonna be out here another few minutes and then we're gonna motor home, which is about a 10 or 15 minute cruise only, and then we will gut him and get to work. So thanks for joining us on this little cruise. It was kind of slow fishing for a while, but then sure picked up in a hurry, right buddy? High five, way to go. Boom. We are done fishing. We've got to get headed back so we can pick people up at the dock. We've got all the rods in, downriggers are in, balls are off. Oh, one thing we didn't do, I almost missed that. That's why we always do these double checks, because you don't want to miss something. I didn't put the kicker up, and so had we gone full blast, it would have over torqued or whatever's in there, I don't know, but it's not good for it. So we're gonna raise that guy up out of the water so it doesn't get damaged on the way. There we go. Boat is in its clean configuration now, ready to go. We got blood all over the floor, blood in the fish box, king salmon in the fish box. Happy boy. We just had a seagull race us. We're on the way back in. We had a couple seagulls, one on each side, racing the boat. We're doing 28 knots, so they can fly pretty fast in the tailwind, I guess. But it's just so fun out here. You run into stuff like that all the time. Porpoises, birds, all the different species. I can't even name them all, but this has got to be the most beautiful place, or it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, out here in the San Juan Islands, Washington State. A little hazier than normal due to wildfires on the west coast here and in Canada, but I mean, it's spectacular. You know, like, what else can you ask for? Get your little kids out here, little boys, little girls, all of them. This is how they gotta grow up, doing stuff like this. You know, I get not everybody can have a boat, but you can always charter or rent. It's honestly probably the better way to go. A lot cheaper than owning it, but yeah, get out and do something fun. Go to a local lake or a river, fish off the dock. Whoa, big jumper right there. Either a porpoise or a king salmon. How amazing was that? Yeah. How big do you think it is?
34 inches.
Like how big? Hold your arms out. Yeah, it's probably about that big. Let's pull this all, let's get all the nasty stuff out. I don't think I cut it deep enough.
I just don't want you to break any eggs. Whoa, its eggs are long.
Whoa.
So mature.
Look at that. Look at that, Ethan. What are those?
Shrimp.
In its stomach, he ate a lot of shrimp. All right, guys. Here's our salmon from yesterday. This is a quarter of the fillet, deboned. Pin bones are out. We've got our melted butter, some lemon, panko, regular butter, tomatoes, little, what is that again? Parsley, oregano, and salt, garlic, pepper, paprika, and some garlic powder back there. That's gonna make this hopefully really delicious. So this is what we call sort of a rough recipe. We just eyeball it. Doesn't need to be that delicate, but look at that. Look at that garlic powder go on there. Salt. And pepper. There's not much paprika in there, so we might not get any color, but that's okay, because look how red this salmon is. The paprika is more of a color accent anyway, so we're gonna have to do without that. This is what recipes are all about, what cooking's all about, which is improvisation. So get a little parsley. That green's gonna look beautiful. This is fresh from our garden. So most everything here, all the tomatoes are out of our garden. Butter came from the store. Panko came from the store. All the seasoning from Costco, as you can tell by the size, but anything that we could grow or catch was all on our own. Add a little more butter, diced garlic to that butter, and we're gonna spread this directly on the fish just because the coating was a bit dry. But butter makes everything taste better. Garlic. It's a secret to good cooking. That is beautiful. it goes. Right in there. Looks so good. You can see that orange in there still. It's such a deep color. Let's try it. That's pretty good. It's so flavorful. Doesn't taste fishy. And then the crunch on top, you don't even need like a bread or a side. Like this is a meal in and of itself. So good job. Thanks for watching our adventure.